All right, welcome everyone. Today is the transfer credit approval process webinar. So if you're interested in taking a course over the summer or in the future during your time at RPI, this is the process. Next slide. All right, so here are our presenters today. I am Kelly Santisero. I'm a hub advisor along with Kim Loring, and then we have Mary Gallagher from the Office of the Registrar joining us today. Next slide. All right, so here's a quick overview of everything that we're going to discuss during the introduction now. We'll go over the step-by-step process of how to get a course approved to transfer into RPI. We have a quick sheet that you're welcome to take a photo of. It's also housed on our website as well, of everything in one spot of the process. We'll discuss how taking a course over the summer impacts your fall registration or a future registration. And then we'll have time for questions and our contact information. So if you write a question in the chat, we will we'll answer it at the end. Next slide. All right, so I'm going to hand it over to Kim and we'll get started with the process.
All right, thank you, Kelly. So just to start, we're going step by step on the process. The process will be also on the back of the registrar form that you'll have access to. So when in doubt, just look at the instructions as well. But step one, really, it's what do you want to take over this summer? Is it Physics 2? Are you looking for more advanced math? Were you trying to do a Haas class, business class, whatever it may be? Before you determine which one you want to do and start this process, we always say make sure your advisor is aware, just in case they have recommendations or, if you guys can work it to fit into your schedule and it's better for you. But step one is finding out what course you want to take. So if you want to do Physics 2, great, you have that determined. The next step is to go to the transfer course guide. That is going to tell you classes that have transferred in the past to RPI. But if a course is not listed, you can still get it reviewed. And also, if a course is listed on that transfer course guide, you still have to get it approved. It's just obviously a good reference saying like, all right, it's transferred in the past. Most likely, if there's been no changes to it, and also no changes to RPI's curriculum, it would be approved again. So it's really just a starting point. And as stated, every course has to be approved by the appropriate department. So once you find out what course you want, you find the course's name, number, and description of the other school you're going to. So if you're going to a community college, a state college, you're thinking, you have to find the subject. So like physics here is PHYS. It might be PHY at another institution. So you have to find that the subject, the course number, again, the course number here is 1200. It might be 120 at the other institution. And then its full name might be different than Physics 2, might be Physics 2 for engineers. And then the description for it for the physics would be actually housed through their course catalog. And that's just the little paragraph that you see, which gives a brief description of what the course is. Now, depending on what class you're trying to transfer into RPI, some departments want course syllabi, which we'll go into in other slides on which specific schools want that. But for School of Science and Math, which is the courses we tend to see in the School of Engineering, those generally are course descriptions. All right, so you determine what class, you got the subject, you got everything settled with that. Now you got to fill out the form. So again, this is going to be on our website. You'll be able to access the links. You're going to go to the registrar's website, click on registrar forms, transfer credit approval form, and then this form is the one that's going to come up. And this is the form that you're going to fill out with your personal information. If you notice, your RIN, your email, phone number, your expected graduation dates, gives a little bit more information. And then really over here is where you want to pay attention for the other institution. So you're going to have to put the other school's name here and the dates that are attending. So Currently, there might be some schools that already launched their summer dates, but they might be waiting on their official summer schedules, or they might not have either posted. So you might be early at this point. RPI obviously starts a little bit early, so it makes sense why we're a little deeper into the semester versus others are just starting or may have just started last week. So if there's a specific school you want to go to, just keep an eye on their official website, see where their date when their dates are. And then keep an eye on their schedule to see if that class that you need is actually going to be offered over the summer. Because you can't submit this paper to the determined school of science, um, unless you have those dates for that school. So unfortunately, it might be a little bit of waiting, but just be aware you have to fill out this form. And then I believe it's on the next page. Yeah, on the next page is where you're going to fill out the information about the actual courses. So in this example, they did use Physics 2. So PHYS 151, believed it was similar enough to the Physics 1200. Now, we do want to make sure you're aware you can only transfer up to 32 credit hours, including AP, IB, Cambridge, dual enrollment credit into RPI as a first-time student here, or first year enrolled student here. If you already have 8 credit hours towards your school of science or your math science core, you need additional signatures from the associate dean, which it's still doable. It's still the same process. It's just an extra step. So it's not definite, but it's definitely possible. So just be aware of that. Now, if you are trying to do a course that has a lab portion, again, Physics 2, the lab has to be in person. So just be aware of that. If you're trying to think of, oh, I need to do an online course because I have to work, Physics 2 is not going to be the best option for you. So if you do want to do a summer course, maybe you talk with your advisor about a different option to maybe line your schedule later on. And then before completing this form, confirm with the other institution that there are no prereqs or grade requirements for the class enrollment. So you might be like, hey, I want to do Physics 2. I'm currently enrolled in Physics 1. I don't have a grade yet. The other institution might be like, hey, we can't accept you into that class until we see a grade. So you might have to wait till later on in the semester, like when you obviously finish the class, to show that, which a class might already been started or starting soon and it might have filled up at that point. So always go back to the institution or college that you want to go to for the summer and see what their requirements are. And then also some colleges also even have you request an official or unofficial transcript to see your GPA, depending on where you're going. So again, just follow what their requirements are. We can't do anything if they say no to you. All right, so you filled out the form. You did it for Physics 2. Now we have to determine the appropriate contact. So like I said, for math and science classes, you're sending it to the Science Hub and they're going to review it. For engineering, you would send it to School of Engineering. For Haas, including for Haas, never mind, transfer credits should be sent to Haas Info. For management classes, including ITWS, this is a new change, so that's why we're emphasizing it. You want to make sure you send it to FLETCK3 at rpi.edu, and then any architecture classes, which generally for engineering students, we don't have this. It's going to be sent to beldi at rpi.edu. And we do recommend if you're sending it over, just so we're aware, you can copy us on it just for, like I said, awareness purposes. And we did make a note up here for engineering or Haas courses. That's where you're going to need a course syllabus versus just the course description. So if you're thinking about that you might have to do a little bit extra work on the front end where you have to contact the registrar at that other institution and be like, hey, can I get the course syllabi for this? I'm trying to request approval through my institution. So it might take maybe a few days, hopefully not too long for you to get that. And then last step. So if approved by the School of Science in this case, they'll sign off on it and then they're going to send it back to you. And then you're going to send it to your academic advisor. And that's where we sign off right here. And then we submit it to registrar, copy you on that ticket, just so that they have the approval on record. So at that point, you did all the pre-approvals, you're good to go on that end. Now all you're going to worry about is registering for the class when registration opens up at that other institution. And then once you do that, you're registered, you're taking the class, just know you have to get a C minus or higher in order for it to transfer back to RPI. If you don't meet that minimum requirement, it will not transfer. But if you meet that minimum requirement, it does transfer, but the grade will not transfer. So it's like if you have AP or IB credit or any other transfer credit, it just comes in and it meets that requirement. So it does not impact GPA positively or negatively. And we want to emphasize when you send, because you do have to send once the grade is posted from that other institution, you have to send an official transcript to RPI in order for the credit to transfer. And it has to be an official transcript. And what deems it official is it comes from that other institution directly to RPI. It does not come through your hands, including if it's a sealed envelope and you hand it off to registrar, that does not count. It has to come directly from that other institution to RPI to be deemed official. If you have further questions about that, let us know, but you need to do that. Otherwise the credit won't be noted and it won't transfer. And then I'm going to hand this back off to Kelly.
Cool. Thanks, Kim. So this is the entire process in one sheet. So we'll leave this up for a few seconds. But again, this is posted on our website. And of course, this recording will be as well. But this is the general process of how to get the course approved. Of course, discuss the type of course you want. You are looking to register for over the summer with your advisor. Some students want to take a higher level course in certain areas. We just want to discuss with you how that will impact your graduation timeline, prerequisites, things like that. So we're here to help you. This is also during our student advisor required meeting season. So this is the perfect time to discuss this with your advisor to ensure that you are meeting all those prerequisites, the graduation timeline, any minors that you're interested in, things like that. So that's a great question, and we'll get to that. Sorry, I saw that pop up. So yeah, again, this is on our website, and we'll have Kim press the next slide. So how does this impact your fall registration? So for example, say you want to take a computer science course over the summer term, and it's a prereq for a fall course. All you need to do is email the professor for an override. So similar process if you've done it before with override, but the student or the professor will do a prereq override for you. Note, there are some professors that will not allow you to register without proof of passing that prerequisite first. So it really depends on the class and the professor. In general, it seems like they'll allow the override, but of course it depends on the type of course. So just keep that in mind when you're planning for your summer and your fall courses, because obviously you're going to be registering for fall courses at RPI, but you're taking the transfer course at another institution. So we just want to make sure that that all lines up and is approved by that professor.
And one thing to note, if you're really nervous about a class filling up, that you need that override, professor is not responding right away, or it fills up, it's always good to have a backup. And if you're not sure of what your backup can be and you're worried ahead of time, talk with your advisor directly and they can come up with a secondary plan for you. Because especially in the first year or two, there is a lot of flexibility. So just don't be shy to ask the question.
Cool. We had a great question already in here, so I'm gonna read it out loud and Kim will answer it. So what if you take a class at a Canadian university and the credits are 3 and not 4 credit hours?
I might have Mary touch on this because also it's coming from outside the United States. So I don't know if there's additional requirements that have to be met.
So for pretty much, and this goes for any U.S. or Canadian university, they needs to be accredited no matter what. So that would be the first thing to make sure that it's an accredited institution. And you can actually go on, I believe it's the U.S. Department of Education. They have a search database where you can double check to make sure. But on top of that, for the courses that are 3 credits, you will only receive, once approved, you'll only receive 3 credits for that 4-credit course here at RPI. We can't allow that extra credit just because you didn't technically the work and content isn't the same that matches here at RPI. So we'd only would transfer the course for 3 credits.
And if it is like, so a lot of times we see like 3 credit hour math courses. So if it's a situation like that, we can make up the 1 credit hour with the math science core by you taking another class. Sometimes they're a 1 credit hour class. I know usually that was over like the summer semester. But depending on what class you're looking at, I would just get with your advisor and talk more about it in case you feel like that's a situation you're going to be dealing with in the future. Do we have any other questions regarding transferring credit, specific classes, anything like that? Like Kelly said, we will be putting this all on our website, including that quick sheet, which I use all the time myself. It makes it very easy to explain and it has everything linked. So if you're confused on where exactly all those things are, you'll be able to access that. If not, I will end the presentation. Thank you for all that are currently watching. And I'll have Kelly end the recording.